Hi, Gina, the constant mom. And today I'm going to be talking about babying your kids, right? We're coddling them, we are not preparing them for the future. So, what gave me the idea for this video is it is something that I've talked about in my book, but what really prompted me to want to do a video about it right away was I was on the phone the other day with a good friend of mine, and she does home instruction. And she is having an issue with one of the kids that she's working with because can't get him to do anything. And one of the things that was really telling to me was he didn't want to do his work. And his mom says to him, yeah, it does suck. You shouldn't have to do your work. I understand why you don't want to do it. And then she stopped there. So now it sounds similar to some of the things that I've been talking about with validating feelings, right? When your kid is upset about something, you always start out by, saying that you understand how they feel. Yeah, it does suck. It is the end of the world, right? But what the problem is, and what this mom did was she stopped there. It does suck. You shouldn't have to do it. But this was his schoolwork, okay? So this is where my problem is. When your child doesn't want to do something like their schoolwork and you tell them that they shouldn't have to do it, what are we telling them? As a former teacher, I would always tell my students, when you're in school, you have to look at it as this is your job. Your report card is your paycheck. So for the time that you're in school, you have to do the best that you can. And I would say to them, does having to do homework, does having to do schoolwork, is it annoying? Does it suck? Yeah, it does. So that's the part where you're validating their feelings. Yeah, it sucks, but this is part of growing up. This is part of life. Sometimes we have to do things that we don't want to do, but it's part of the real world and it's part of growing up. So what I feel as though what the mom should have said to her child at that time was, nobody wants to have to do the schoolwork. Mom and dad don't want to have to get up and go to work each day, but that's how we keep a roof over our head. Sometimes in life, you have to do things that you don't want to do, but that's how you are productive citizens of society. We don't always get to do everything that we want to do. So what I would have said was, yeah, do we feel like doing it right now? No. Does it suck? Yeah. But do a little bit now. Let's pause. Do a little bit later. I would have come up with a plan for her child to get the work done. I would not have just stopped at, no, you shouldn't have to do it. How are we preparing our children for the real world? We're not, by saying things like that. That's not validating feelings. That's coddling your kids and babying them and letting them think you don't ever have to go out and get a job, because that's not reality. Telling your kids that they don't have to do their schoolwork and you feel so bad for them, that's telling them that you're going to support them for the rest of their lives. And I see this as a big problem in this country as well, too. When are we going to tell our kids they need to be supportive of themselves? So I'm just going to say this. My daughter, she bought her own car. She started doing lemonade stands when she was 5 years old. We always taught her the value of $1 because, again, at the end of the day, stop coddling your kids. Stop babying them. There's a difference between validating your kids' feelings and then just not preparing them for the real world. So I would definitely like to speak to this point again, and I have a lot to say about it. I did have, I think, an entire chapter in my book about this. But this was just a start. And again, it was because being on the phone with a friend of mine, and she and I, our minds were just blown by what this mom said to their child about not having to do your work and it was okay. And it was something that I thought was like right away I wanted to release a video about. So if you have any questions about what I'm saying, you can always comment below and I would love to respond. But again, if you have nasty comments, as I said in my very, very first video that I released, this is about positivity only, and I'm not going to respond to anything nasty. I hope you enjoyed my video about stop babying your kids. We're not coddling. We're getting ready for the real world. Thanks for watching. Bye.